how you came to be is no longer a mystery. Black sheep is your birthright. It's covered the one who brings the light. I bet if there's a crack, you don't fall back. Remember who you are. No rest for the wicked with their skullery. The use spell workers' projection to send out envy, hate, and jealousy. You are the prototype, your ancestors champion. They shield you and send back those spiritual attacks. You are divinely protected from the dummy bats. Yeah. Big cat, the most high, got your back. He sits high and looks low, so don't get smoked or smoke yourself. Big cat, moving silence. Only time you speak is to say checkmate.
Namaste! Namaste! Grand Rising, Big Cat. Welcome or welcome back to Frequency Phoenix 555 for your message or massages. Come in! Come on! I've got intel. Recon is afoot. I've got intel. Recon is afoot. I've got intel. Recon. Are you well, bestie? Come in, just giving it a hot moment for the big cats to assemble, and then we'll dive right in and unpack. Hey, see what's going on, because we had to do a quick, hold up, wait a minute, the ish is about to hit the fan. Yes, bestie, I hadn't forgotten you. And I hadn't forgotten that today in the UK, Mercury retrograde has hit in full effect. It's kicking off in Capricorn, darling dears, the 10th house of status, ambition. It's also the house of your father, darling dears. With Mercury retrograde kicking off in Capricorn, darling dears, lean in, bestie. Lean in. It's going to be what? Shaking up. You're going to be looking at everything around you, darling dears. What is aiding and abetting, or what's bringing you down, relating to everything with the 10th house. This is why you have to check to see what planets are in your 10th house. Also, where your Mercury is on your birth natal chart, darling dears. And that house, it will tell you what's going to be going on. If you want a bit more, go and watch my Mercury retrograde vid, darling dears, where I've given you the heads up on what's going on for you, according to your sun and rising sign. This Mercury retrograde in Capricorn is about deep introspection, darling dear. As I said, it's going to be around your ambitions and responsibilities. And you have to pay close attention. Why? You've got to work for yourself. Why? Because the issue is about to hit the fan. As I said, let's get the dice and dive in, darling dears. Oh, you have a 10. I can't make it up, darling dears. The 10 speaks about what? Renewal. Why? Because the ending of a cycle. Something must end. We just spoke about Mercury retrograde being in the 10th house. The 10th house is being highlighted for us to what? Unpack, darling dears. As I said, the 10th house is also about what? Fame as well as status. It's about your destiny, darling dears. It's about good dharma. If you've been doing the right thing, what's that? Focusing on self, darling dears. It's about the higher education. The 10th house, the key word is what? I use. You utilize to what? Your best abilities. The energy of the 10, darling dear, brings into mind the Wheel of Fortune and the Sun. Again, it's about what? The transformation of you, darling dear. Certain people thought they could keep you down, bring you down with their energies. They thought you would stay in a certain stance or situation that was not for you. In numerology, I use the Pythagorean chart. We only go from 1 to 9. So the 10 goes down to a 1. It speaks about what? Leadership role, darling dears. Your birthday could be the 1st, the 10th, the 19th, or the 28th, or that is going to be a significant date for you. Mark it on your almanac, darling dears, because these dates all fall within what? The Mercury retrograde. So look out for these dates, darling dears, where you will be tested Yes, on your ambitions, your responsibilities, and what the self-introspection of it all, darling, is. Because remember, the denominator of every circumstance you find yourself in is yourself, darling dear. Yourself, your bestie, the only thing, person, place, or thing that you can take with you anywhere on this Malkoof. The energy of the one in numerology speaks about you stepping into a more independent role, darling dears. It's a new beginning for you, darling dear. You have the potential to what? Bend the matrix. You have, the number one is ruled by the sun as well as Uranus energy. So the sun is about the self, darling dear. Uranus is about the what? The plot twist, darling dear. The plot twist. Nobody likes the back end, especially when they turn around and see Big Cat there. Ha ha ha! Push. Fist bump. I want to do push clap and fist bump. And it came out mixed up. Why? Because we're in Mercury retrograde, darling dears. The energy of the one also speaks about, as I said, the opportunity and the potentials of this new beginning, which is about to unfold. But you have to go within, darling dears, in order to what? Bring it out. Why? Because the issue's about to hit the fan. You have to be the one at the back end, darling dear, not the backy. How about that? The energy of the four, it speaks about communication. You're going to be getting, it wants you to look at your communication, darling dears. Even silence is what? The greatest communication of them all. You don't have to what? Tell anyone two of these and one of those. You leave silently. Right? You're a big cat. What's the matter with you? Prototype of your lineage. Black sheep is code for AKA the bringer of the light, darling dear. You also have the energy of the six. Okay, so it's cooperation. Others may seek your cooperation, possibly in a family or friend matter pertaining to the hospital, some form of confinement, darling dear, some kind of visit. But this is about you understand, and it's also what your higher self communicating to you, darling dears. Some of you need to go and get yourself checked out. The 10th house is ruled by Capricorn. Capricorn is ruled by Saturn, darling dears. So you may have an issue around your legs, your knees, your nerves, your bladder, or your kidneys. Go and get it checked out, toot sweet, darling dears. That means in a hurry. Love you right back. Who's that? Abian, I think. I'm not sure. I hope I've said it right, darling dear, because I told you, Mercury retrograde always gets me in the what? The mouth, darling dear, the mouth. With all of my terminology and my words, they come out mixed up. But we're not gonna live on that, darling dear. Why? We are big cat. We cut and go through. That means go on. Remember Lot's wife. The energy of the 10 speaks about you changing your routine for the better. It's also a change up because the 10th house, the 10, your status, your ambitions. Some of you are looking to what? Change your career. Possibly even change your school of learning, darling dears. A higher level you're going to. The 4-6 also speaks about some of you was in a situation where you had children early in a situation, whether a marriage or a long-term situation. The 10 also goes down to the 1. You are now independent from said situation. Must have come straight from the crevice balls. The best thing from it was the progenies, darling dears. The progenies. Focus. Yeah. The energy of the 10 is represented by the Wheel of Fortune in Tarot, darling dears. The Wheel of Fortune is a karma card. Because it's a 10, I'm going to take it as the upright, darling dear. It's your turn to be on top of the wheel. But self-introspection is what is going to allow you to cut and go through when this ish hits the fan. Destiny is afoot, darling dears, and it's coming to you from an unexpected source. Remember I told you that evolution is on the tableau. This is why everything is all squiffy, fuzzy, and shady. Don't forget the shade, darling dears. Oh yes, the shade givers are out in full effect. Why? Your communication is different, darling dears. The 4 speaks about your communication, your deportment. You ain't going back and forth with no dummy bat who is on demon time. Nope, and nope again. Right, let's get a runestone to back it right up. So you have great fortune on your side, but deep introspection will unlock it for you, darling dears. Remember I told you that. Let's quickly check the chat, see who's here. First in the chat, Alexis Holmes, Big Cat, wave. We've also got Molly Coburn. Hello, Molly. Are you fabulous, gorgeous and lovely? Hi. We're about to go in, darling. Oh, you've got two of them. Love it. When you cast rune stones, you read them from right to left. Your first rune stone is what? Swallow, sun energy. Big Cat, sun energy. Oh, excuse me, my civil play. Have to backtrack. Forgot to tell you. With the energy of the 10, which goes down to a 1, your luckiest days will be Friday and Saturday. As well, we spoke about Saturn. Saturn rules Saturday. All right. We also, your luckiest numbers are 1, 2, and 5 over the next few days, but the important dates will be 1, the 1st, the 10th, the 19th, and the 28th. And with the number 1, the letters A, J, and S are associated. We have Swallow. Swallow comes in with an S, so S is going to be prominent to you, darling dears, in your deep introspection. What does the S represent for me? Self, blood. Self, darling dear. No longer sacrifice. That's a big what? Thumbs down, darling dears. Nope, nope, and nope again. The energy of Swallow speaks about the vitality. You're going to have what? A raise in your vibration. It also speaks about some kind of honor is coming to some of you, darling dears. And again, Swallow, the sun energy, also highlights the health area. I told you which areas may be affecting you. It's positive energy, darling dears. The sun comes in with what? The 16th and the 19th. Again, it's dates within the Mercury retrograde. So we've got the what? The 1st, the 10th, the 19th, the 28th. The 19th has come out twice, darling dear. So the 19th and Saturday is going to be very important to you. 33 in the chat. This is a master number. Same age as Jesus and Bob Marley, darling dears. 33 is what? You are a mediator, what? As well as a master manifester, darling dears. You are in tip-top manifestation mode. So in your introspection, make sure that your thoughts are focused, not on what was and what brought you down, darling dears. Your introspection should look at what you did to what? Break out of the matrix, darling dears. The dysfunctional what? Rigmarole of the hamster wheel. This is what you need to look within, darling dear. Take that quiet time. It's very important. The sun energy also speaks about for others. You are about to take some kind of a vacation or a holiday, darling dears. Don't worry, the Skrilla is here. We already get the Wheel of Fortune energy. It also speaks about losing my voice. Somebody's losing their voice, darling dears. When they speak to you, they need to shut up out of that what? Gingivitis cake hole. We call that a mouth in the UK. They need to shut the cake hole, right? I know you're looking at this thing in the back at the top. What's that? That's a random house wig, darling dear. And if I have to go for it and slap up the screen, you know I'm going what? I'm going gut buck wild. Let's not get to there, darling dears. Why? There's no one to check me, boo. Carrying on at a hot trot, darling dears. The sun energy also speaks about what? On the tarot card, it shows a brick wall. Putting the past behind you like a ponytail. Part of your introspection has to be that. You have to lay the past to rest, darling dears. This is not what? Running away from it. As a big cat, you must face it full on in order to what? Face the fear and realize that you are the master and not the child. Remember, I told you that. Healing these inner child wounds. It also tells me, darling dear, somebody's going to be discovering a pregnancy or be hearing of a what? Impronto birth, darling dears. Going into labor when it's not expected, which will be a nice surprise. This would be a healthy birth, and I hear it's going to be a boy. All right. The sun energy is also ruled by Apollo, a Roman god, who is the god of music, healing, divination, and the truth. Roof. Pinkies up, darling dears. Remember, I told you that. I told you, and I've told you many times, Big Cat, I will give you a lot of information, but you must be the keyboard gangster. Take what resonates, write that shiznai down, and investigate, because there is a message for you. Remember, I told you that. 10 likes. The 1010 speaks about breakthrough. Having what? Let go of a certain phase in your life. This is where we're giving it what? The homegoing service. Oh, good golly and gosh. You have Uraz, represented by the Hierophant in tarot, darling dears. The Hierophant is the second house. The second house is about your values, darling dears, your income. It's about what you prioritize. It's about your luxuries, what you can bring towards you. Your habits, your routines, as well as your what? Work ethic. This is looking sideways, darling dears. Uraz is represented by the numbers 2 and 5. So you also have the numbers 2 and 5. We already know the 10 is prevalent, darling dears. The number of the 1, the 19, and the 28th. All right. This is a lack of respect of a situation, darling dears. A lack of respect, because there's many at your back, could be as many as 5. That's what, trying to pour water on everything you've got going on, darling dears. Why did I say the 5 when I know it's a 2? Good golly and gosh, it's a conundrum, darling dears. So therefore I have to bring out a 5. The energy of the 5 is what? Conflict, confusion, darling dear. Many are upset at you at this moment in time because of the stability that you are actually in, not knowing that you are still in fledgling stage. There is still what? Introspection that must be done before the ending of 2023, darling dears, in order to release what no longer serves you. This could have been an ending of a marriage. It's the breaking down of a family unit. It's also somebody feeling what? Pushed out of a working situation. But you have to understand, the sun, you are the sun, darling dears. Your energy was not meant to be in that environment. You stayed there too long. It's time for you to say what? Hip hip hooray, and give them what? A good love and light as you leave a working situation. You have to decide, darling dears, in order for this blessing to come through to you. Somebody's going to some kind of formal training, darling dears. This training is not for you. You're making this choice out of what other people think should be your path. Don't do it, darling dears. You have to stand in your what? True what? Authority of the path that you are about to take. Something to do with Caroline, Calvin, Colin, and Cash. What? Cash? Okay. There's a lot of darkness at your back, darling dears, but divine is telling you not to turn around. If you turn around, you may trip and fall. Don't look back, darling dears. This is the time when you have to really remember Lot's wife, Salt Bay. Don't embody it, darling dears. Something is trying to bring you back to a place of less than, of abandonment. A place of what? Hidden secrets. A place of what? Fake friends, false enemies, cheating, lying, skullduggery, all of the above, darling dears. The sun energy comes through to tell you what discernment is key in order to activate this new cycle, which is based on the introspection you will be doing over the next few weeks, darling dears. Because when the Mercury retrograde goes into Sagittarius on the 23rd of December, you're going to have a thirst for exploration, darling dears, and you need your mind and your soul to be free to open up for the new gifts, darling dears. And it's also what? Somebody planning a holiday or some kind of vacation or sabbatical around the 23rd of December. This will go smoothly. But I believe it's going to be whatever this vacay is for, it's because the ending of a cycle, darling dears. As you step into the best version of yourself during this age of Aquarius. Go and watch my Pluto in Aquarius read, darling dears. Find out the message for you. Barbara, where are you? I don't know where that came from. Well, it just came out. All right, let's carry on, darling dears, because this is outrageous. The issue's about to hit the fan. Get your look at this, darling dears. Secrets are about to be revealed. It's an open book, darling dears. Secrets. Only a wicked person keeps secrets, darling. Well, not necessarily. Innocent people keep secrets. Why? Because they don't want to face the reality of what's happened to them. But you have to face it, darling dears. You all will forever be tied to that person, place, or thing. If you don't face these secrets, they have to come out one way or the other. even if you're only hiding them from self. Tell yourself the truth, darling dear. The truth roof. Pinkies up. Next card. Yeah. This is what? The beginning of the rebirth. You breaking through the ice, darling dears. In the reverse, the fire is on top. You are being ignited. And again, it goes back to the sun energy. We have the what? Phoenix from the ashes. Baby. Posh clap. A new beginning for you. Fire energy speaks about your intuition. Your inner strength. Somebody is also having their sexual passion is about to be reignited. You feeling a partner coming towards you. Well, good golly and gosh, I don't care who it is. If they're holding Jesus and Buddha's hand, I don't care, right? We do the what? Remember, here at Don't Get Smoke Central, it's the Boosie Badass, darling dears. All is investigated, especially if they've got a baby. Investigate the shiznai out of the baby. Why? The issue's about to hit the fan. This is a new beginning for you, darling dears. As I said, the Wheel of Fortune, it's your turn to be on top. Base of the deck, air energy. Lies are being told, darling dears. Lies are being told about the rebirth, the rise of you. Somebody doesn't want you to what? Have this new beginning, but they can't stop you unless you allow it. And you are the master of your future, darling dears. Your destiny, everything is in the palm of your hands. Once you have what? Self-realization. Self-accountability, darling dears. And what? You're able to what? Reckon with your past, face it, and let it go. Many of us have been through what? Traumatic cycles. But it's not about the cycle, darling dears. You are a big cat. You were sent with the light. You have to learn the lesson of the cycle. Once the lesson is learned, it will never happen to you again. And you are the teacher of the tale. You must tell your story in whatever format is most comfortable for you, darling dears. This is not the time for us to be quiet. 17 lights. 17 is what? Star card. You have to bring what's in the dark out into the light. Put a spotlight on it for your health, your spiritual health to improve. The 17 also speaks about jealousy. All of this unnecessary energy because they're jealous. Listen. Didn't they watch my reading that season 2 is about to come through? Big cat wave. Ha ha! They ain't seen nothing yet. You are the red light, green light champion, as am I, of 79. Don't turn around, big cat. Let's get a deck. No, we're going to go with the cards first. Because the envy, the jealousy. We're going to go with some intuitive messages first of all. Look at this. First shuffle came out. What's this? Jealous, bitter person. They're jealous and they're bitter. They sit in what? Sulfur. And brimstone. When they think of you, darling dears. What? They're a thief of everything. Trying to take your energies, darling dears. Protect your energies. Obsidian black crystal and black tourmaline. Yeah, an otherworthian, darling dear. Their self-esteem is in their what? Their what? Their crack hole, darling dear. What's this? Can I get another chance if I promise to change my old ways? They're all mad, and this is why it's been directed at you, darling dear. Because they would like another chance to do what? That's what they want, darling dears. They want you to share in their karma, right? They're seeking revenge, not friendship, darling dears. Yes, they are a monitoring spirit, would like to be close, to get any tidbit to go back and inform your what? Haters, darling dears. Because haters always flock together. You just heard the birds, confirmation, darling dear. They need to replenish their self-esteem. They want to step in your back, darling dears, right? To feel better about themselves. And they're an energy vampire, a full-on drainoid. What's this, right? Listen, they are below ground zero. They're in the dusty zone. Where's that? The crevice of the devil's balls, darling dears. Looking for someone to share in their karma. Good God, if that don't make you want to take off your left front and run free, I don't know what will, right? They're a little finger. What did I say? Gathering intel, darling dears, for their benefit. And what's this? What did I just say about the envy? I can't make it up. There's over 120 cards in this deck. What's this? Right? Prison, right? A repeat offender, and don't take them back, right? Don't take them back, bestie. Otherwise, I'll be right here to tell you, well, I did tell you many times at all different tones and voice. I did. I will be right here. 66 in the chat, darling dears. Your service is a service of joy. This is about you finding that inner pleasure inside yourself. Find your Chiron, find the house it's in. The house that's opposite is also tools, darling dears, that you have to overcome in order to get to the place where you need to be. This is not the season for martyrdom, darling dear. Envy or everything. Taking note, they're about to get their echopraxic on. What's that? Copycat, darling dear. Another word for your lexicon, right? Hating on your Lazarus. They don't like how you bounced back. Imagine that. Some of us were sleeping with the enemy, right? Who is what? A slanderer, a merchant of slander, always on the balls of their feet. You had to break some kind of union, some kind of contract with this person. And as you broke that contract, darling dear, your happy days were here again. Learning how to what? Dance to the universe in the rain. But remember, darling dears, you're dancing in the rain because you understand the beat and the movement of the universe. But with the rain, you will find mud. And baby, the mud is being slung off against you off. There are otherworthy, darling dear. They want you to feel like you're in otherworth. What's this? You listen. Listen, I nearly spluttered. Like what? Sylvester the cat, right? You better call your ancestors. They're your security, your team, darling dears, right? For spiritual protection, it's needed. This is a spiritual war, darling dears. I told you. As you already know, you can speak to the Most High, darling dears. But when two people, two cats meet and you pray together, darling dears, this is like a petition to go sit at the feet of the Most High to hear your case. Even though the Most High understands everything you've been through, everything you're about to go through. Now that you're gone, they feel lost, darling dears. Somebody's got the hooded, what? Unsatisfied eyes, darling dears, of the unrequited love. It may be forever unrequited. Let's ring that bell. Let it be unrequited forever, darling dears. We don't want to know. We're busy. Doing what? Counting a 5-pound bag of rice, blood. One rice grain at a time, blood. In order to what? Get things straight as we do our introspections. Whether you meditate, do yoga. Some of you are doing walk-in therapy, darling dears. Walk, but not with the headphones on. If it is, it's got to be light music. High vibration, darling dears. Time for you to really face these inner demons that are holding back your greatness, darling dears. Remember, Saturn is the teacher, but you have to be the student in the face of Saturn in order to what? Get that good Dharma. This is a test, darling dears, and you are the baddest of them all. Look how far you've come, bestie. Look how far you came. And then you met me and it was like, fuck this, man. Fuck this, fuck that, fuck you. Yeah, you came through, darling dears. You did. And I will be forever grateful for your energies, darling dears. Otherwise, I'll have all of this intel knocking around in my own cranium, right? And quite frankly, I'm enjoying the little tate-a-tates we have. I do enjoy it because the secrets are coming out because of what? The rebirth and the reborn version of you, which you are working on through this Mercury retrograde. Don't worry about the contracts and this and that. You wait until Mercury retrograde to sign them, after Mercury retrograde to sign them. But it's a re-evaluation of everything you thought was going to be because you felt that your fate and your destiny was in what? The unseen. No, divine gave us choice. You have to choose. Use this time to choose wisely. And he said wisely. Hey, Tony Smith, new face in this place. Big cat wave. Right. We're going to need 2 decks, right? One for you and one for them. We want clear decks so we can see what's going on. And we'll get another clear Rider-Waite deck. plus the little one, so we can see, really see what's going on. Wrong investment, darling dear. This can't be your deck. Let me ask you, which deck is for the big cat? The small deck or the big deck? We already saw what's on the base of the big deck. On the base of the small deck is the devil. So you're between a rock and a hard place. Saturn energy coming in with the rules and regulations, darling dears. Should we go with the small or the big deck? Because everyone looks a bit creepy. But we're big cat. We fear nothing. We face everything and rise. The small deck or the big deck? Jacqueline, Arenton, big cat, wave. Which deck are we going with, darling dears? For they, them, and Which deck is they, them, and The small one or the big one? Daniel, you're saying the big one is they, them, and You'd rather sit. Right, listen, even the devil is embarrassed right about now. Yeah, they've been gossiping, darling dear, cheersing it up, but not in a good way. Cups could also represent your health, darling dear. Somebody wants you to be in health crisis. 3 of Cups is feminine energy. Well, it could be a Mitch bitch or a bitch Mitch. You can't tell them apart. From a distance, they're the same shiznai, darling dear. Fresh shit shining in the sunlight. All right. Let's give it a good shufti. This other Worthian who's the thief of everything, who's bitter and jealous. Yeah, they're in good company, darling dears. They're with like-minded people. It also speaks about some kind of mental break. They're having a mental break over what you got going on. The 9 of Peas is the actually, I would say the Empress in the minor arcana, darling dears. Yes, it is. There are many of them. I said 5. It looks like it's 9. What did I say? They chopping it up about you, darling dear. They are speaking, sending a lot of negative energy, right? Where's the tiny deck, right? Let's give it a quick shufti. What are they saying? Not that we care, but we're hearing it. What are they saying? What are they saying? They're saying that you're different, darling dears. You've moved on. They could be talking about your chariot of righteousness. That's your vehicle that takes you where it needs to go. They're saying that you seem to be having some form of success, right? You're keeping your own counsel. And you're being quiet about your investments. The lid is on the cup, darling dears. They're using bare speculation. They don't like the fact that you're being successful at this moment in time, not knowing that you are still at fledgling stage, darling dears. You've only just broke through the ice. It's about time for you to take that, what's that thing? Is it a skin off your face, that color off your face, darling dears, and realize whom you are? I insist. They're saying all of these things about your blood. What else? They're also telling a lot of lies. This is someone who is bitter, spiteful, hateful, always looking over to see what someone else is doing. Yeah. Then they're making a lot of speculation, darling dears, about your foundation, your home life. They want to know what's going on. What's going on between your thighs, in your wallet. They want to know all the things that Big Cat don't talk about. Only to God. Some of them, if you have a partner, they're speaking about your partner, darling dears. Maybe you have a stable foundation or had a stable foundation with a partner until you realize that they was a bitch. They're talking about your past relationship, darling dears. Okay. Yeah. They're chopping up about the past, the usual. What's this? Look, Foolio. I told you, Foolio will always be in the company of fools. Doing what? Foolishness, blood. Hood-looking alfalfas they be, darling dear. They're speaking up about a stable relationship maybe that you had in the past. Yep, they're chopping it up because they've got nothing new. They've got nothing new. No new intel. Yeah, they're re-stabbing you in every chakra, darling dears. This is the heavy energy that you're feeling because you have to remember, it's not just one person. I said 5, we saw 9. It could be what? It could be as much as 14, but it's you that they're stabbing, but they've got no new intel to bring to the tableau, darling dears. None. All right. Yeah. We already saw this. The devil is about what? It could also speak about addictions, codependency. It could speak about abuse in a relationship, abuse in any form, darling dear. These are the inner things that you have to work through during this Mercury retrograde. Capricorn, it's in, and it goes to Sagittarius, darling dears. So it's going from a cardinal sign. A cardinal sign is about being dynamic, taking action. Be slow to tackle it, darling dears, but tackle it head on, you must. And it moves into Sagittarius, which is a mutable sign, right? Which is what? Being versatile, adaptable, darling dears. You've got to do the work before we get to the 23rd. Remember, I told you that. If you got to cry and what all, do it. Let it out. You may think that this wound, whatever they did to cut you to your white meat is over. It's not. You get the final time to what? Get it out. Let nothing have dominion over you, lest you fall into the hands of the devil himself. Remember, I told you that. All right. So you have to do the introspection. You've got to do this healing, darling dear. This is the God card in tarot, darling dears. You are blessed and highly favored. It came out sideways before, darling dears, but for you, it came out in the upright. The reason why it was all this sideways energy is because of the negativity that's being directed at you, darling dears. They don't like what's going on with you, darling dears. They can't see what's actually your next step, your next go-to move. There may even been a page, darling dears, a younger person that approached you to try and get intel to bring back to the horde. They couldn't get anything really solid out of you, darling dears. Remember, I told you that. God has turned up for you. And again, the Hierophant, the 5, right? The Hierophant, the 2nd house. Because what you're going through right now, darling dears, is affecting your bank balance, your finance, your future successes. God is giving you the green light to heal from what you've got going on. You think it's gone, you think it's over. But if you feel triggered by certain situations, you haven't healed, not 100%. Divine wants you to give it to him. Remember, God sits high and looks low. God heard conversations that you did not hear. This is the same tables that you no longer sit at, darling dears. Call your ancestral team. This is spiritual protection. You are not even on the same level as these what? Usurpers, darling dears. People trying to what? Dethrone you, trying to bring you back into wickedness, right? This is a stand your ground, darling dears, says the Most High. You don't physically what? Involve yourself. This is spiritual warfare. One's this spiritual energy, darling dears. You may even be standing alone at this moment in time, but you are never alone. God has your back. Remember, I told you that. You're not alone. You've got to clear these energies in order to what? Think freely and move towards the destiny that is for you. Remember, I told you that. It's a mind thing, darling dears. But when you cry these tears to release this situation, this is the last tear you cry. This is the last time you will ever feel like that, darling dears. 88 in the chat speaks about what? You have a higher calling. This is about your self-awareness. Remember, I told you that. You have a higher calling on your life, darling dears. This is why you must hold your tongue, Proverbs 10:19. They can't see exactly what's going on with you, eh? So what's going on in their mud hut? This thief of your everything. Well, they was, not anymore. This person or people who are what? Below ground zero, the full-on dustites. Perpetuating this spiritual warfare. Listen, they're going through it, blood. Your ancestors don't play this, but I said, call them. They like to come at night at 3 a.m. to wake up the dummy back, darling dear. This person is going through depression. They're going through all kinds of loss. Salt is also spiritual, darling. Do you think this is not a boomerang? How dare they continue to attack people that's left the table? What's going on? They're not having a lovely time of it, darling dear. They're going through depression. It also speaks about swords. They're even discussing each other, cutting each other to the white meat, darling dear. What did I say? What do you think? This spiritual warfare was going to be one-sided? Did they? They thought it was going to be one-sided when God said, call your ancestors. When you saw with your own eye chakras that what? You saw the cards. This is why I show them. God has your back, front and side. It's for you to clear the energy. You have to be the one that lets it go. You can't allow these circumstances and situations to continue to trigger them, and you can't avoid them because it will continue to perpetuate in different aspects of your life. We are living in the age of Aquarius. Pluto is about to enter Aquarius on the 20th of January. Be ready for it, darling dears. And this is not a time where you're going to think, oh, well, I'll just sit here and I'll just tell myself it's over. Fuck that. That's your conscious mind you're telling. You got to get deep within to your subconscious. That the subconscious, the same one that controls your blinking and breathing. Talk to that one. So the spiritual warfare is on them, yeah? And your team ain't ramping. Why? Because you're the champion. The breaker of the what? Dysfunctional cycle. They're not happy people, darling dears, and they are under spiritual attack. But you are not sending the attack. It's not your battle to fight. God has your back and has dispatched your ancestors on your behalf. But they cannot help you unless you ask. They can't sleep at night, darling dears. What did I say? This is spiritual protection. This is under the what? The spotlight. They're getting it without the Vaseline. Yeah, this person from the past, people from the past that have nostalgia. They always saw you as a small fry. They made it seem like they was always the giver of you, darling dear, the giver of your life, your emotions, darling dears. Where you was going in life. As long as it was smaller than their mud hut, they was happy. This is also them wanting that second chance. Let's go back to where it said. Where is it? If you give me another chance. Thief of your everything. What did I do with that flipping card? Now it's hiding from me. Here it is. Can I get another chance if I promise to change my ways? They're lying. Listen. It's going to have me in my swear words, and I'm trying to cut them down. Not the wicked, the swear words, darling dears. Because when I like to tell people off, I like to speak with the Queen's English blood so they can fully understand what's going on, right? Yeah. They want to come back. They're only kicking up this ruckus, darling dears, creating all of this karma on themselves because they want to come back as the issue's about to hit the fan. Well, it's hitting the fan, darling dear. It has, quite frankly. There I look again. And they've got no spiritual protection. Look, I can't make it up. Exhibit A, the Most High. Exhibit B, it's got your back, stand your ground. Free yourself of the mental slavery, darling dears. Look what's on the base of their deck. No spiritual protection. So they're just out there. No protection on their auric field. Having all sorts of demon time attached to them, darling dears. And the wickedest thing is that they can't cope with it, darling dears. They've got no one to talk to because they're in the They're with the wolves. Yeah. And they've got no sheep's clothing, darling dears. None. They're on the rocks of life. All right. Look at this. Six of Cups. They want to come back, darling dears, and they know, you know that they want to come back. They want you to come back, to be an underling, a thumber. They want you to come back and forget everything. Forget that you are somebody. You are earmarked, was earmarked as the black sheep, darling dears. Pushed around, made to feel less than. Why? Because they saw the light in you. You know they would love you to come back and beg for their friendship. You listen. You don't compete where you don't compare. 5 of Wands. Simple as that. Don't compete where you don't compare. You are a soldier of the light. Yeah. Listen. Fate, destiny, and look, the Wheel of Fortune is here to show you, darling dears. Good luck is on its way. It's coming in quickly. Knight of Wands moves swift, darling dears. Swift, not as swiftly as the Knight of Swords, but you've got messages coming towards you, darling dears. Things that you can actually use. Spiritual messages. Pay attention to your dreams. Write them down. They may not make sense at that moment in time. And remember, when you wake up in the morning, bestie, don't touch your phone. Right? Don't begin to start thinking about your day, because as soon as you start thinking your dream, the dream you had, right, the place you was, starts to disappear. When you wake up in the morning, you want pad and paper. And don't go and say, I'll type it in the notes on my phone. Once you check Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, Snapchat, what's the other one? TikTok? Yeah, no. You have Dharma coming in, darling dears. But again, the Wands is the spiritual side, darling dears. You are healing your soul. Remember, I told you that. Use the time with Mercury retrograde in Capricorn to put the spotlight on yourself and heal. Some of you have a father wound. You had an absent father. Yeah, they can't sleep at night, blood. Stressed out, depressed. There's lots of arguments around them, darling dears. If they're in a relationship, they're with people. Again, I couldn't speak then. They can't speak, darling dears. They have to shut their mouth. They can't. Do you hear that? The thunder. Confirmation again, darling dears, of the wickedness that they're going through. Did you hear that thunder? Listen, it stepped it up, guys. And it just came with the baseline, just in case you missed the first run through. I told you, them are good. And as I'm speaking about them, they want you. You don't want them. You're different, blood. You're different. And you're different for a reason. Didn't you always feel that you didn't quite fit? You wasn't meant to fit in. You was meant to break the mold. And you will. But you have to release what needs to be released around this particular Mercury retrograde. Why? Pluto's with us for 19 years. We're not going to see it when it comes back in, when's it? 22, 25. Nobody we know, our progeny, our progeny's progeny, our progeny's progeny's progeny is going to be alive. You have a once in a lifetime chance as a big cat to really truly live out this life cycle in the version you are meant to be in. Heal yourself, big cat. What about the wicked who can't sleep at night? Listen, it came out with the Hermit again, lad. Hey! It's fanciful at night, darling dears. The freaks come out at night. Yeah. They're wanting to leave a situation. This also speaks about betrayal. One of them, they're out there betraying each other, darling dears. Yeah. Tell me some more about the Hermit energy. Secrets being revealed, darling dear. Yeah, look. Queen of Wands on its face. These are Jezebel spirits, darling dears. They could be incubi and succubi, but they're just wicked. This is somebody that plans wickedness, negativity, sends it towards someone, right? And they get into a group of other wicked people sending this negativity out, right? The One's energy is about being jovial, darling dears. They like to joke on your name. They're playing on your name. With no spiritual protection, darling dears. None. And them one have to go in that bed by themselves at night time. Even if they got a partner, they're still by themselves. You saw that I was unable to speak. They can't speak up in their situation, which is what? Mud huttier night. I told you, they're in the mud hut. Sending all this negative energy. When are they going to chill with the negativity? This is what we want to know. When are they going to chill with the negativity? It's coming through soon, darling dears. Lean in, bestie. Lean in. We've got the 5 of Pentacles. So it gives us what? A time frame. Five of Pentacles is represented between the 21st of April and the 30th of April. Something significant is going to happen in their life, darling dears. Between the, as I said, oh, come on, Case, remember, the 21st of April and 30th of April, something significant is about to go down for the Mud Heights. Listen. They're going to try and run from it. They're going to want to try and be single and independent for this kind of level of what karma that's coming to kick their ass, darling dears. Touch not the anointed, eh? The shiznai is hitting the fan. Remember I told you that. You may not be sitting at the table, but let me tell you something. When you call your ancestors, you will know. You will know. Write those dates down on your almanac. All right. That date could also be encompass your own birthday, darling dears. All right. I picked up their deck again. There's more intel from this deck. Yeah. As I said, they're going to try to manifest a way to get away from the situation that's going to culminate in April between the 21st and the 30th. But they're not going to get away, Queen of Swords. Because of what? What they projected at you. Still project at you. They don't realize that they're touching on the situation of person, right? That they've got no rights. You came to give them information. Show them compassion, darling dears. Well, they're not going to be shown none, and they're not going to get out of the situation and circumstance they created for themselves. 1, 2, 3 in the chat. Listen. The steps are, was it? All the ducks are in order, darling dears. Ace of their deck is still going to get the karma. And again, 8 of Wands spiritual energy. Hey, that's their business, blood. Allow them. What of the big cat? Oh my God. I can't make this shiznai up. Look. You're going to get the justice for everything that they say, darling dears. You're going to get another blessing in your life. So let them continue to chop it up. Justice is what? The 7th house. The 7th house is the house of partnerships, darling dears. It's the house of contractual partnerships. Could be friendships, could be love, whatever, darling. Could even be business. But for everything that they give you with the negative thoughts, the negative words, the bitterness, the envy and the hate, you're going to be getting blessings, darling dears. So let them continue to chop it up. Let them continue. You are a natural born leader, darling dears. Again, spiritual energy of the King of Wands, a futuristic thinker. Some of you are natural public speakers, darling dears. This is about you honing your skills and your talents and utilizing them. I told you, go to the 2nd, the 6th and the 10th house to find how to utilize your skills to turn it into a business, a source of income, darling dears. Look what house your part of fortune falls in. But don't touch none of those until you've looked at your Chiron. Your Chiron is how you'll heal, the house that it falls in. The opposite house is the things that you have to overcome, as well as your part of fortune. Look at the house your part of fortune falls in. And the degrees is very important, darling dears. Because at 0 degrees, it's new territory for you. And if it's at 29 degrees, listen, you're already in there, darling dears. You was born to master that sign. You already have the tools. Listen, you're going to learn astrology whether you like it or not, bestie. Because every time I drop these dimes, I know you're like this. She said, oh, so it's Tarot. Yeah, natural born leader, darling dears. You don't look like what you've been through. You are looking what? Fabulous, gorgeous and lovely. But this is about you what? The query's looking into the past. You have to heal that wound. Even though it may not be prevalent in your life on a daily basis, it's affecting what's happened so far. Yes, you're blessed and highly favored, but the blessings are not going to be full force until you let go of this final nugget before the ending of 2023, before Pluto goes direct in Aquarius for the next 19 years. Remember I told you that? You were meant to be a game changer, darling dears. And don't be impatient. Temperance energy in the reverse. Don't be impatient, because the options are coming through. Messages will come through. and you'll open up all the secret wounds that's keeping you stuck. Why? I don't really know what to say to that. Hey! Fabulous, gorgeous, and lovely. Let's get the Soul Oracle deck to finish out the read. Then I've got to get on, darling dears. Listen, Big Cat tell you nothing. Tell nobody nothing. Right? Impartiality, and again, the Justice card. You are the balancer, darling dears. Never you forget that. Justice card, 7th house, darling dear. Libra energy. Insecurities. Clarify the insecurities, darling dears. What did I say? Accepting the shadow side. For this new phase of growth, darling dears, and abundance to come through. As I said, whatever is holding you, keeping you locked and loaded into a phase that you have to overcome, it's affecting your life still, and you have to let it go. Hey, Kevin Johnson, are you fabulous, gorgeous, and lovely? I hope you are. Well, you must be, because you're a big cat in your ear. We've got 137 in the chat. That goes to 11, darling dears. 11 is a master number. Listen to your intuition. It will give you the tools on what you actually need to do in order to what? Let go once and for all. And you will let go. Call your ancestors, darling dears. Listen, I call my ancestors, right? In the past, when I used to call them, I used to call them, right? But you have to give them direction on what you can't just call them. What do you mean? It's like somebody waking you out of a deep sleep and they've got nothing to tell you. What you waking me up for, blood? You have to be direct. Ask and it will be given. Knock and it will be opened. You saw that God has got your back, darling dears. So let go of what it is that's holding you down. It's time to let it go. Accept that it happened, but it was to make the betterment of you. And what activate this new phase of growth and abundance, which is just for you. You're not getting no slice of the pie. You're getting the whole pie. Remember, I told you that. Spirit has got your back. You see that slice that's taken away? That's the piece you've been taken away from the whole, darling dears. The mixing and blending that's been done in the back. You have protection, spiritual protection. Remember, I told you. But you have to ask for direct help. On that note, I drops me mic. For them to my Teesprings, my Patreon, my TikToks. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share these messages with whomsoever you feel needs it. And as I always say, don't get smoked. And don't smoke yourself. From the ashes, baby. Namaste. Thank God and gosh, I didn't have to get the house rig to hit you up. You understood the assignment. You understand the assignment, big cat. Continue to what? Bend the matrix. Hold up. Wait a minute. Big cat, wave. Until we meet again on these tarot streets. Cat, cat. Cat, cat.